Welcome everyone to the game between Zachary Saine, who is well known as the chess nerd. He's a content creator and was also the host at the FIDE candidates, would be the person handling the press conferences, and he's taking on a young talent from Indian chess. His name is Advik Agrawal. Advik is rated 2376 while Zachary is rated 2102, and Advik has already achieved his IM norms. He just needs to hit 2400 and he will be looking to get there in this tournament. We have the Sicilian on the board. Knight takes. It's always interesting to see clash of generations. Advik, who's just 11 years old, so talented. Will we see the Najdorf? No, we see the classical Sicilian with two knights coming out on c6 and f6, and Zachary plays the main line, the Richter Rouser with bishop g5, e6 played, and usually queen d2 and long castle is the main way to play, but he goes queen d3. The latest wrinkle in this line, bishop d7 played by Advik, and white long castles. a6 makes a lot of sense, so that knight can no longer jump to b5 to put pressure on d6. And Zachary plays h4. You can see that he is well prepared. He has 1 hour 27 minutes. Advik also blitzing out his moves. He goes h6, asking a question to the bishop. The bishop can drop back, but first knight takes c6. Taking with the pawn is not the best idea, although it bolsters the center. It does make it a bit weak. Bishop c6, a lot more logical. Now the bishop puts pressure on the e4 pawn. The bishop comes back to f4. Three people are attacking the pawn. Advik goes d5. Wow. Easy, well developed to take this decision. Maybe not. Maybe white is already significantly better after pawn takes pawn. Zachary takes, pawn takes pawn, and knight takes. You can take back with the knight. But in fact, instead of knight d5, queen g3 is a very strong move. But he takes there, which kind of allows black to equalize. Look at this move, queen g3. And this would have been super strong because it pins here. And next move, you can put your bishop on e5, putting pressure here. But takes, this allows Advik to come out and now attack the a2 pawn. Zachary takes on d5 with the queen. And bishop takes d5. Advik has equalized out of the opening. And usually in the Sicilians, the endgames are very favorable for black because you have these nice central majority. King is still in the center here, so good for the endgames. Rook c8 pinning the pawn, king b1 played, and now if you take, rook c1 is an issue. So Advik goes bishop e4 with a check, and king goes to a1. Now he puts his bishop on c5, quickly developing his pieces, attacking f2 pawn. Zachary goes f3. The bishop can go to c6, can also go on this diagonal. He goes back to c6. And now bishop to d3. But he plays his bishop to e5, putting pressure on the g7 pawn. Black castles, defending the pawn there, and bishop comes back to c3. White is hopeful that if they can get some sort of pawn pushes there. It could be nice, but it's difficult because of this bishop. Meanwhile, black already has started his play on the queen side. b4 played, and now Advik goes bishop e7. Good or bad, c5 is a must, a5, a3, and white is fine, but king b2 is a step in the wrong direction, because after pawn takes pawn, it does feel like the white king on b2 is a bit weak. Advik takes, b takes c4, and after bishop takes c4, the a6 pawn is hanging, but now you can put pressure on the b pawn. That's a great move, rook b8. Threatening to take here, you can defend it with a3. He goes king b3, but now a5 is powerful. You can see there is so much pressure on the b4 pawn, so a5 played, and the only way to keep the pawn is to play a3, which is what Zachary does. And rook b7, Advik quickly wants to double. Rook d4 and rook fb8. Excellent play here by Advik Agrawal, putting pressure on the king. Rook d1, and now you can take and take on b4, right? But he doesn't even do that. He goes rook a7. He's trying to take here and give a check and put pressure that way. I think it's very interesting that Advik doesn't want to cash in. In fact, induces even bigger error from his opponent. AB now. AB. And bishop to f6, hitting the rook. Okay, if you move the rook away, that seems like a logical move, but bishop a4 check would come in. He goes bishop b2. Now imagine rook d3, bishop a4, and you're already in trouble because of rook takes b4 and there's this pin. So bishop b2, but now Advik can take the rook, but he's not in a hurry. He gives a check. Zachary goes king c3. This is pinned here now, and Advik says, I'm not going to even take that. He pins this bishop. Oh my goodness, this is just completely tying up white. And now rook c8, and look at this. This is huge trouble. There's no way to save material here. And Zachary resigns. Advik scores his first win here at the Abu Dhabi Masters, and he will be looking to do well in this tournament. He has 2 draws after this. After this win, he drew with GM Rudik Makarian and Lev Zverev, so another 11 points he's got. He did play the under 11 nationals as well, where he may have lost some rating. So hopefully Advik is able to gain heavily here to reach his IM title and also get his first GM norm.